preparing for your 100th test, does that change the way you feel about the game or the way you prepare it at all?
No, I don't think so. I think after you've done it 99 times before, you sort of know what's expected and what you need to do. So from a preparation point of view, it's pretty much the same. Obviously, there'll be a lot of emotion that goes with it, and my wife's coming to the game, and my dad's coming to the game, and that'll be pretty special. But purely from a preparation point of view, no, nothing really changes.
You're a bit of a traditionalist. Do you place much stock in the fact that it's in Wellington against the All Blacks?
Yeah, I think growing up as a big Western Province supporter, and my dad representing Western Province as well, and being, like you say, a bit of a purist when it comes to rugby. I think that's the ultimate challenge. Was always for me to play against the All Blacks, and I was fortunate enough to play my 50th against them in Durban in South Africa, and now for my 100th as well to play against New Zealand is pretty special. So I've got a lot of friends in New Zealand as well that we've made over the years, and I'm just fortunate my family could be here. It's a pity that my kids and my mom and brother can't be here, but like I said, to have my dad and wife here is pretty cool. So looking forward to it.
Do you have any results over your time playing against the All Blacks that kind of stand out?
My first game put it this way, my first game I played against the All Blacks, I scored in the first 27 seconds of the game. So that was pretty special. We did manage to lose that game in the last minute, thanks to Dougie Howlett, later a teammate of mine. So that stands out, but probably the one that stands out the most would be the first time I played them in South Africa, which was also my first test at Newlands, being my home ground, and we managed to win that game and also managed to score a try. So that one probably stands out the most. And then also when we beat them in 2009 to win the Tri Nations, also scored a try on the day, and won the competition. So there's a couple that stands out. Obviously the ones you win stand out more than the ones that you lose.
He was an interesting player at day in Hamilton.
Yeah, it was.
Up for another one this weekend.
Oh, well, they few and far between, so at this stage of my career, but it's always nice to get those, but you don't plan them.
Jean, over the course of your career, how much harder has it got to play the All Blacks, in particular in recent times, as the way they've played the game has evolved?
It's a good question. I think I think they've been pretty good the last couple of years, and obviously since they've won the World Cup for the second time, I think it was probably a bit of relief from their point of view as well, and they've consistently been very good. So it's always Test match rugby is always tough, and when you play against New Zealand, it's definitely no different. And it always makes for good Test matches. I do believe that South Africa New Zealand Test matches are pretty special. I think down the line we've had some fantastic games. So Saturday will be no different, and they're the number one ranked team in the world, and we're trying to climb up the ladder a little bit more.
John, just maybe adding on from that, I mean, just looking from the outside, it seems as though there's really this gap between the All Blacks and the rest. Do you as players also sort of feel that is the case, or do you feel that on any given day you can still sort of beat them?
Well, I think any sportsman, if you go into a game or competition or anything, and you think that you can't win, then it's not really worth competing at all. So definitely from that point of view, we believe we can beat any team that we play against. If we perform at our best, and Saturday is no different. So Yes, they've been at the top for a very long time, but we're backing our chances in every game that we go into. So Saturday's no different.
Jean, it's been a long road from 2002 in Marseille, and now it's 2014 in Wellington, and 99 games later. Do you ever think you get to this point, especially after what happened in the first 2 years?
Yeah, it has been a long road, and certainly there were definitely times when I didn't think that I would get to number 2. Making your international debut is always special. Getting injured 7 minutes into your debut is not something you really dream about. And then being out for 9 months, coming back prior to the World Cup, playing that warm-up game, playing 15 minutes that time, getting injured again, another 8 months out, and certainly you do test your character, and you go through, or certainly I went through a lot of hard times, but I believe I got through it stronger, and never imagined that I would get to 100. So just very, very fortunate in that regard. But certainly at one stage I didn't think I would get to 2. So someone's looking after me somewhere out there.
Kevin Malami spoke quite highly of you yesterday, fellow Centurion. Is it nice, I guess, bringing it up against a guy or guys in the All Blacks that you battled with for many years?
Yeah, it is. And actually, obviously with 100 coming up, you do look back at your career and think of the games that you have played, and I think what stood out for me as well has been the times that I've been with the Barbarians and meeting playing with a guy like Kevy, for example, and last year with the Barbars, and my time at Munster, playing with a guy like Doug Howlett and becoming friends with a guy that you've played against so many times before. And also playing on Saturday. Obviously the teams haven't been announced yet, and I take it that the fact that I'm sitting here, I'll probably be playing. But playing against probably Ma and Conrad, and having played against them so many times before, you do sort of in a weird way build up a bit of a relationship and a friendship. In a weird sense, and definitely respect as well. So in that way, I think it is nice for me to play against them, and again the old battle to continue, and hopefully we can just have a drink afterwards, and hopefully just celebrate my 100th game.
This 100th game has become a bit of a poison chalice for the Springboks. Remember John Smith crouched over at Soweto against the All Blacks. Last week, Brian, does this in a way motivate you to try and make sure that you've got something to smile about after your 100?
Whether it's your first or your 100th, you play to win. Every game that you play to look at the records and seeing that John lost his 100th, Brian did his. I don't think I'll go down that road. I would like to think that our team will be well prepared for Saturday's game, and each guy will be highly motivated to represent his country again, and make the Bok jersey proud, and taking myself out of the sort of whole thing, and taking the emotion out of it. Just being able to play and perform. I think that's what it's about. I think that's the biggest gift that I wanted to give Brian on Saturday, and the other 3 when I played in their 100 tests, and I would like to hope that the others can do the same for me. I'm not asking for anything special, and if I could just let this go past and be a normal game, I would prefer it that way. Unfortunately, not everyone sees it that way, and all I would like to do is just for the team to perform and have a good one on Saturday.
John, those tests where you have been the All Blacks, and you spoke about them before, what do you think it was that went right that day for you that allowed you to beat the All Blacks?
Are you talking about the referees or? or just the game itself?
No, just in general, like what you guys did with your performance that allowed you to beat them and what you might take in the second.
Okay. No, I just didn't understand the question. No, it's. I think it's playing good rugby. You're up against a team that has played consistently really well. So you can't expect them to have an off day and you being lucky and getting a win. You're going to have to play well, you're going to have to prepare well, and you're going to have to execute on the day. We did that in the past, and we beat them, and it wasn't by luck. So we know what to expect on Saturday. We know what it'll take, and it won't be easy, but we believe that it's doable. So it comes down to the attitude that you arrive at the stadium on Saturday and delivering on the promises you make during the week.
Are there any special privileges with going to 100?
No, I was hoping for a lot more.
He gets an early press conference on Tuesday.
I get to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and not being able to sleep because of the jet lag. No privileges. I think getting to 100 is a big enough honour and a big enough privilege, so it's enough for me.
Sure. New Zealand has a number of centurions and others getting close to it. Yet there's talk here that perhaps some of them are getting a bit old with the World Cup next year. Does perhaps, the situation you have...
It is very much the same in South Africa, yes.
Yeah. So does it say perhaps about the game or the players now that, experience is meaning so much?
Well, I think, let me take you back to the results in the Northern Hemisphere this year. And you look at the Heineken Cup final and the two teams that competed in that one. Toulon winning it at the end, known as a club that buys has-beens at a very high rate and just for the show of it, winning a very tough competition. Beating Saracens, who's also got very experienced guys in their squad, and again competing for the biggest prize in the Northern Hemisphere. Take New Zealand, who's been at the top of their game for a very long time now. And at the core of that sort of success has been those guys, those experienced guys. And maybe when you get to an older age, you can't perform for 20 weeks in a row at that level. But when push comes to shove, and when you need those guys to perform, they do. And I think that's what's important, is that when it really counts and when you really need guys to stand up and make hard decisions and do the big plays, then it's usually those experienced guys that do that. You need those experienced guys around also to lead and to motivate and to show the young oaks, how to do it and when to do it. And that's the only way that you can evolve and get the next generation to do the same. So I do believe that I think a lot of the times we look at age rather than looking at performance. And I think you should purely be judged on how you perform, no matter your age, no matter, I believe that if you're good enough, you're old enough, and you're young enough. A lot of the guys said, Victor Matfield is 37 years old. How can he ever come back? Saturday again he showed how important he's been to this team, and in June the same. So judge a guy by how he plays and not by his birth certificate.
Sean, talking about performance, it's been a few days since Perth now. What do you think of the performance, and what do you think you need to do better this weekend to get that win over the All Blacks?
Ricardo spoke about the improvement, and I think we constantly want to improve in all facets of play. Defensively, we had lapses of concentration during the game. We probably started both halves really badly, so we need to improve on that. Reviewing the game yesterday, it's actually terrible to watch the opportunities that we had and not executing those opportunities. Ricky again spoke about identifying the space and getting the ball into that space. We didn't do that. There was definitely times when we could have held on to the ball rather than kicking it, and there were times that we probably held on to the ball where we should have kicked it. So it comes down to that decision making and making the right decision at the right time. So the only way you can improve it is by putting yourself in that position again, putting yourself under pressure and making the right decision. So I think it's also just taking the pressure off a bit and being open to those opportunities.
Were there any elements from the All Black game that you
Two
can
more
draw,
after this, please.
that you can draw inspiration from? The
Of
All Black game.
their game. Again, it's a team that's been at the top and they don't have many weaknesses. But we do believe that if we execute and if we try and force our game plan upon them, then we can get a good result. So you won't find massive weaknesses in their game, and I don't think we'll be looking for that. For us, it's about creating opportunities for ourselves and finishing those. Sure.
Okay.
Can you repeat that?
What would you like your legacy to be when you're looking back on your career at 30 years' time, talking to your kids and grandkids?
Well, I would like my kids to be proud of me, in the way that I conducted myself on and off the field. I think in South Africa, and certainly what I've tried to tell the younger guys in our team and what our team likes to stand for is that we are a team that competes when we put the Springbok jersey on and gives our all, every single time that we play, and make South Africa proud. But also that we're a team for everyone in South Africa, a team that all the kids, everyone watching can really aspire to and can relate to. But not only that, it's about what we do off the field as well. Giving hope to a lot of people and a lot of kids in South Africa. And I think it's in the world today there's so much going on and so many bad stuff happening, and I think it's important for us to sort of be that hope as well for kids watching. You talk about drugs, talk about killings and murders and all of that, and there's a lot of bad stuff. And I think if they can aspire to something like rugby and the Springboks and see what that can give them, then I think we've done our job. So the 80 minutes on Saturday, that's part and parcel of the job, but that's a very small part of what we actually do and what we stand for. So if you talk about a legacy, if we can get that right, that would be a legacy that I would like us to leave.
Boegies, and then last minute Nigel, thanks.
If you can dedicate this match to anybody, who would it be?
Oh, yes. That's tough. I think family always comes first. And my wife's been unbelievable throughout the years. We've got two kids at home, and she's bringing the third with her, being pregnant again. And by the end of the year, we're gonna have 3 kids under the age of 3. So so it's a tough job. And so that's a tough job, and to take all of this, the sort of rugby life with it, and being able to be there for your kids and raising a family and supporting me so much, I think that that's tough. That makes rugby look really simple and easy to play. So I would dedicate it to her and my parents as well. To have been given all the opportunities that I've had, and I definitely wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for them. So just very fortunate enough. I've had some unbelievable people in my life, but they certainly do top the list.
Nigel?
Sean, over